This is probably the most underrated theory for Isagi Oichi in the U20 World Cup, and it honestly makes sense. So for the longest time, we've known that Isagi is trying to prove that he's number one, becoming the world's best striker, the best in Blue Lock, so on and so forth. But thing is, he's already done it within Blue Lock. He is number one after the Neo Egoist League. And because of that, as shown in recent chapters, the thought process has changed. The theory comes from somebody who's understanding this on a fundamental level. I'll tag them down below. Basically, everybody calling Isagi a fraud because he hasn't done anything on the field, even though he's controlling the field in a way that makes sense. Well, the last goal with Ren wouldn't have happened had Isagi not put himself in that place, had not set that entire thing up. That being said, a lot of people are preying on his downfall, but that downfall isn't the downfall that you think. The downfall that some people perceive is simply the natural phase where a player seeks to redefine himself at the top. He's no longer on the linear path of progression, but in a process of self-reconstruction. As we see talking to Nigeria, that is the case. He's already at the top of Blue Lock. Isagi can now read the game better than anyone, so now what he faces are no longer his opponents, but himself. His curiosity about himself becomes central. He no longer plays just to score. He plays to understand what makes him. Or his ego came from desire to prove his place. Now he's curious about his own evolution, i.e. wanting to win, the evolved white-haired form, so on and so forth. He talks to Nigeria and dismantles their mentality. It's proof of psychological maturity. He no longer needs to roar. He acts like someone who knows the game. He even allows himself to test ideas, provoke, and debate, proof that he is in a phase of mastery. We're no longer facing just a striker. He's a strategist fully aware of his role within the structure of Blue Lock and the world of football. The so-called downfall is merely the metamorphosis of an absolute ego. You can read all that right there. That calm, that clarity, and proof that he's already becoming Blue Lock's completed player. The World Cup will be the masterpiece that marks the rise of the player who will revolutionize Japanese football and the world of football itself. Time to revolutionize the world of egocentric football. That being said, what ego has to say and how Isagi is going about doing it makes more sense. While the idea of becoming the world's best striker is still there. In layman's terms, finding new ways to evolve yourself to reach that point, which at Isagi's most basic ideology is still very much prevalent. This theory is easily the best one I've seen thus far. Some of y'all are so quick to call him a fraud because nothing's happened, but the moment it does, you all won't understand that that's the case, and then you'd be like, well, of course, it's just plot, not understanding the story or Isagi at all.